afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host and Imperial Name, the one, the only master of propaganda. Off here to one Mrs. One own. Crossroads. In the north, it is VonAsten, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, the American dream, taking on the role here of the 5th Infantry Division versus in the south. It is Creativename, fighting for the Oberkommand versus Germany, Deutschland. Fighting on here with the Kampfgruppe Schultz with Luftwaffe Ground Forces, Ground Offensive, and Feuersturm. Triple infantry there. VonAsten immediately committing to the very popular Heavy Cavalry doctrine with triple infantry there. Double rifle start there for VonAsten. Kugelwagen and Feuersturm here for Creativename. Kugelwagen is obviously being slightly more part of the Oberkommand sort of opening, though not widely so, at least not as of yet. And as always, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and press that bell button so you're more likely to get videos. Do occasionally get people like asking why I'm getting, you know, videos in your feed, and that's because YouTube is YouTube and is in fact very counterproductive with a lot of the stuff it does. So again, stuff like liking my videos, pressing the bell button, slightly increases the chance of you actually getting to, see more of my videos. So do kindly do that, not just for my sake, but for your own sake. We got Sturm backed up the cool button here, going straight here for VonAsten's Rifle Squad, then aggressive push to have a Creativename, though he also needs to grab the fuel point. Note Focus moving up the west side, so he's playing very aggressively here on the right hand side, which means he's not going to get the fuel point because the Sturm is going to get focused down here. No matter how much Creativename fights viciously for the fatherland against VonAsten, of course, is fighting just as viciously for freedom. In the west, Folks moving up, they could deal with the reactions there quite nicely. Folks is following up there for Creativename. The Kugelwagen is now left to fend for itself against a superior American force on the right flank, leaving the Kugelwagen driver seriously questioning what the hell is going on up at high command. On the west, we got the full service Reachlons. Should be able to deal with the Reachlons quite nicely. Second full squad out there. Fuel point on these is going to be grabbed. I mean, at most, you can try and buy some time with the Kugelwagen. It's slightly sort of harassed, but even then, I think it's going to be limited what the Kugelwagen can do there against the rifle squad. Very limited. I mean, most can see this destruction from like down the sandbags, and if he tries to do that, he's going to get shot at. Reachlons right here in the east, fine. Grab the western fuel point, then he's connected. Kugelwagen's going to have to fall back soon. He does grab the victory point, and we got the full squad is out there. And at this point, honestly, Creativename may just want to like swing towards the cemetery instead of trying to grab the point here, to be honest, at this stage. Got sandbags up there, and obviously Creativename has seen that, so he knows that VonAsten has gone for heavy cavalry. At least he's very certain and confident that he's gone for heavy cavalry. Kugelwagen they need repairs, 2 kills, veterans 1, but still it fights for the fatherland. It fights for the determination of 1,000 Kugelwagens. Third full squad on the way there for Creativename. 5 minutes shooting fast back there. We got the Lieutenant on the way there for VonAsten. Grabbing the car front here for the Western Fuel. We've got a rifle squad moving in there. Minesweeper was up for Creativename. And this is obviously in response, in part, I think, to just the heavy cavalry sort of response again. He knows sandbags are down, so he's already assuming his opponent's going to be laying down, those cheeky mines. Also, it does help with the Kugelwagen repairing it faster, so there's obviously, a double element to this, but I imagine he's actually concerned that VonAsten might lay down mines, because VonAsten is actually a good player who's, going to lay down mines. So, thing is, most players who do go for heavy cavalry don't lay down mines with the rifle, even if they have the opportunity for it, which is, a bit silly. Though I imagine it's something the German players opposed them is quite thankful for. Thank you, strange American commander, for not laying down mines, and thus preserving the feet of mein Soldaten. Rifleman against the forces here by the northern point. As Creativename, of course, just looking to play aggressively against VonAsten, put pressure on him. So using the point T, truck out for Creativename. Could be Battle Group headquarters, could be mechanized. Either plays out well there. I'll wake up the eastern fuel point, cutting off the western one there at the same time, ensuring he gets a bit of resource lead here over VonAsten. Good play there, though, of course. VonAsten is not going to allow that to happen for very long. There'll probably be a mechanized command post being upgraded there. Maybe a 50 caliber. Follows this rifle in there. Kugelwagen there, slowly approaching Veteran 2. Truck moving out there a bit aggressively, man. That's the rally point. Oh, not rally point. Oh, maybe got changed. Oh, it follows this rifle by the car point, trying to buy as much time there to deny VonAsten as many resources as possible, almost costing a full squad to this squad, which would have been, I think, a bit too costly there for Creativename. Meanwhile, VonAsten, of course, is frantically trying to get the fuel back, is now routing more and more forces away from the right flank to the center, of course, reopen the fuel, because the fuel must flow. The oil must never stop running. That is very much the very core tenet of American democracy. Bit to cover up there for VonAsten, going to, of course, be used to hose down Creativename's infantry, slow them down, of course, deal with the vehicles, and we do get the mechanized regular out there for Creativename. Luxus and Pumas. In theory, could open up here for Feuersturm doctrine with the Opel Blitzes then, so that would provide him with healing. Of course, Luftwaffe ground forces and ground defensive are also, you know, Bible picks here versus VonAsten. Lieutenant Rifle versus Sturmpioniere ins East. Seizing the southern fuel munitions point there. Mechanized Regiment almost under for Creativename. Skirmish continues with the Sturmpioniers down to less than half, closely approaching veterans you want. And Mechanized command post almost down there for VonAsten and for Freedom. Sturmpioniers just down 2 men. They fought well, but you know, unless Creativename wants them dead, they can't really fight for much longer. Push for the core upon there, catches the Sturmpioniers retreat path, but also catches a lot of Volksgunners marching out from the base. Volks missile stations there. Still no sign of a drop there from Creativename and Das Vaterland. VonAsten will likely go for the Stuart Light Tank. He might of course be expecting the Mechanized Regiment already, which means Pumas and Sachs. And the Men-20 is not going to do very well against like Sagina looks. So VonAsten's likely just going to push for the Stuart Light Tank here, since obviously that's going to be much better suited versus either Lux or Puma. Of course, less versus the Puma versus the Lux is going to be great. They got Brandhand Granat off there, Fifth Couple joining in. Creativename's forces struggling a bit there after the tragic loss of the Kugelwagen. They should have worn seat belts. Troops reinforcing, got medical supplies up there, still on the side of Doctrine, they got assault rifles up. Certainly makes Feuersturm less likely. Then again, there are some players who now just go for it for the Opel Blitz just for the healing, and then they can't ignore the rest of the Doctrine, which I always find is a bit sad. Sturmpionier setting up, troops they're reinforcing. Rifleman low on health. There you go, route it. 3 kills. Troops heading westwards, grabbing the back of the car point, and it's VonAsten's time to be in control of the map here now versus Creativename. Once the German army. Oh, moved a bit too fast there. Looks almost done, but at the same time, so is the Steward for VonAsten. And Creativename does not really have any other, well, any anti-tank assets at all, so he's actually going to be a bit of a tough spot there. We'll have to go for the Kettenwerfer, which will be a bit on the slower side on catching up to the Steward and then dealing with it. But looks like the East was there. Lone squad being sent westwards. The one equipped with assault rifles, of course, allows to fight better on its own. But at the same time, could also use them like part of a major push. But there you go, Lieutenant Broughty in the east. M5 wants to light tank out there for VonAsten and the 5th Infantry Division. And there's another Sturmpioniers occupied there with a victory point. They got the 5th Cavalry setting up. They quickly flanked here with the Lux. Well, I think he spotted the Steward there with Sturmpioniers and quickly orders a hate retreat there for the Lux, rather than sending straight to the waiting gun line of the Steward Light Tank, which could have made some really unfortunate developments there for Creativename. Just got the missions here for the Panzerfaust. Will set it off there against the Steward Light Tank, which will then give his Lux time to sort of hit VonAsten's forces elsewhere, of course, unless VonAsten just moves everything around the Steward, so at least Creativename can't easily deal with it. But looks like he's perhaps not too keen on that. We shall see. Got Lux joining in there. Creativename still without a Doctrine here. We're slowly approaching the 10-minute mark. Heading westwards there for the fuel point there. We got a mine down from VonAsten. Very good. Except, of course, for Creativename's infantry's feet. MG34 on the way there for Creativename. That's going to certainly help there versus VonAsten's infantry. Not so much versus Steward, obviously, but that's obviously not his major concern. That may have to become that, depending on how well VonAsten makes use of that Steward Light Tank. But there you go, got the fuel point cut off. And these have got a decent sized infantry assault there goes Creativename's position. You need to focus on the riflery, since it's based at this point acting as bait, drawing away the fire from the rifleman, and it's working out nicely there. We've got a Brandhand cut off on the rifleman. Should help a bit, in particular if VonAsten is too slow to get that fire. There you go, taking a lot of damage from the incendiary grenade, but still, the resistance also get a good beating into 2. Forcing the forces to troop turning up there. Bazooka in hand. Obviously to help, I think, in part deal with the Lux, but it's probably also in anticipation of the Puma, in which case VonAsten really wants more, you know, bazooka, or more anti-tank assets out, no matter the cost. Of course, he could go for weapon racks and bazookas and bars, but there's likely the possibility he just wants to be ready with it immediately. In this regard, the bazooka and the lieutenant obviously is just very fast. There you go, we do get the weapon racks. So, he's obviously not just going to rely on the lieutenant's bazooka, but it was clear, no, just in case he missed time, perhaps, or just hadn't quite gotten it right there, that he was readily somewhat for the Puma and wouldn't be completely rolled over by losers to do it too fast. So, not bad there for VonAsten at all, not bad at all. Troops reinforcing. Feuersturm is chosen here for Creativename. So light, it's just going to be for the Opel Blitz, unfortunately. And not for, say, MP40s or Flammenwerfers. Fortunately, eastwards, fuel upon there being seized by the Lieutenant. Of course, the bazooka is going to be less effective as the infantry. They're not by a lot, thanks to the Thompson, which compensates a lot. Routed, rifling up there, Stuart ready to support, but they got the 234-2 out there for Creativename, also known as the Puma. Looks up and behind the rifle, puts something up. Stuart there, exposing himself to the Puma. There you go, Panzerfaust off as well, rifle retreating. Could see a big blow there to VonAsten. Yeah, he's going to lose that Stuart to the Puma unless something really silly happens. Or VonAsten pulls off some really brilliant maneuver. He didn't, and the Stuart was lit on fire, so... Quick win there for Creativename, leaving VonAsten in a bit of a sore spot. I bet he's going to go for that Opel Blitz anytime soon, and certainly again some players basically go for it because that means you don't have to build a battle group headquarters and get the mech and get the upgrade, which saves you a lot of manpower, but also a lot of fuel really, since it's just 200 manpower, 20 fuel. Which is slightly different from the Emblems, but overall roughly the same price, which is 250 manpower, but 10 fuel, obviously. It costs more fuel here, but less manpower. Or again, it just means you save even more, since again you can just skip on that otherwise expensive process. MG34 there for Creativename, more machine gewehren. No sign of the Opel Blitz as of yet, but again, considering that he went for the doctrine, there's no sign of MP40 as of yet. I'm very much expecting though an Opel Blitz there from Creativename. Very much expecting that. MG14 with advancing infantry, second MG34 ready. Aggressive precision machine gun, perhaps a bit too aggressively with no immediate line of sight, which does leave, I think, a bit too exposed, but I mean, still it's good to use the machine gun actively here versus VonAsten, and it is leaving VonAsten feeling perhaps a bit frustrated. A frustrated opponent is in several cases more likely to make mistakes, so that's never a bad thing to do. Both moving ahead here, plan hunt gone off. Sturm Pioneers team when they can as they slowly approach 15 feet. VonAsten is struggling here. The Puma Lux combo has proven to be a bit too much for him, at least for now. And we'll have to see, of course, how he responds. There we go, Opel Blitz out for Creativename. And give it a maneuver there. And of course, he's going to set up to distribute medical supplies. Healing up his men rapidly. Standing about here, grabbing the point there. The Stuart, wait, he's going for another Stuart? That seems like a bit of a bad call there. VonAsten, I'm not entirely sure why he's going for it. I mean, I'm guessing someone can stun the Stuart and the Lux and then destroy them with bazookas, but even then it feels a bit risky. So I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of that move by VonAsten. I think he should either be taking up or going for the Captain at least, and some anti-tank guns. I feel like the second Stuart here is inviting trouble by VonAsten. And inviting the big trouble. The kind that speaks German. Arm-piercing rounds, they're doing some light damage to the Puma there. Problem is it's low on health, then you could do some serious damage there, but if he gets lucky, I mean, there you go, Puma down to almost half health already. 50 Cavalry gaining a lot of experience from it, pushing it to veteran 2, very good, but he needs to retreat it soon. Stuart moving in. So he has committed to a second Stuart light tank in a move. I will say it is quite surprising there with VonAsten. I'm guessing again there is a logic to it, but I would not necessarily find myself to be a big subscriber to that logic. But anyways, we'll have to see how it works out there. Grab the eastern point here. Captain out, so he's definitely going to be using anti-tank guns to buy more time. And it could be he's going to try for a longer sort of, shall I say, Pershing stall. Which is going to be a bit more risky, but then they're going to sort of push out the light vehicles and ensure it doesn't get rolled over by enemy tanks. It might work out, and there you go. Schwerer Panzerhauptquartier going up here by the eastern point. For Creativename, the Kampfgruppe Schutz. Troops are healing and enforcing. Reasons they're being rushed by Volkskandies. The bazookas sadly are not going to dissuade the German infantry advancing on that centre victory point. Also noting VonAsten is a bit low on victory points at the moment. Also a bit rough there for him. Forces launching a flank, very good. VonAsten's situation remains a bit sticky. infantry moving westwards here, 50 calibers, all the other good stuff there. I imagine he's going to go for anti-tank gun as soon as he can, and he might consider adding in some pack couches versus Creativename as well. Then they're rolling back, 3 kill threats into 1 there, infantry advancing next straight for the fuel point. Troops in and forcing there. Creativename scout the Shrap Hunter's quarters up. Of course, he will need to get the Pantherosation yet still, so there's going to be some time for one can actually go for tanks, but it does mean it's going to be much harder for VonAsten to then seize the eastern victory point and fuel point, which is still going to be a significant advantage for Creativename, since it's going to mean VonAsten will have to divert significant resources then into that just to clear that up. And most players tend not to be keen on that. Also taking advantage of this push into the fuel point and then flank up behind him, setting up the machine attack to cover up the troops as then respond to the flank here. Almost got it right there though. Might have been an awkward setup there, or maybe an accident. Either way though. Didn't quite be able to stop the counterattack force there, which also forced him to retreat into his base then, which of course allowed to send the machine gun towards the other side. But there you go. Good's covering up things as well. Rifle and tank grenade off. Smokes off here against Creativename and the Germans. I'm not entirely sure where it went down. Oh, don't. Oh, here against the MG-34 by the western fuel point. Opposite on the weather for Creativename and the Kampfgruppe Schultz. A Kampfgruppe is basically sort of the designation for any sort of like specific task mission group there. Though it could also be used to sort of describe a division that was below divisional strength to a certain point. They would then be referred to like Kampfgruppen, for example, the 9th and 10th SS Panzer Division, for example, in the Netherlands were referred to as Kampfgruppen rather than divisions. So it could sort of also be used like that, but it could also be used like any other ad hoc group, but it's usually sort of like more specific, you know, task force meant for a particular purpose. In fact, by the start of all those, usually say Panzer Division, for example, usually be like distributed into like 3 specific Kampfgruppen, one based around the anti-tank battalion and the reconnaissance group, one around like 1 battalion of armor, and then sort of like the mechanized infantry, and then the rest of the armor, and then sort of a motorized infantry battalion, for example. I think also the reconnaissance group have been supported by pioneers as well, but you know, stuff like that, for example. Right from the routage, we have 100 quarters up. VonAsten has managed to bounce back somewhat. He's got the anti-tank guns out, and he will need another one to really sort of stop Creativename here. Fulters they're being hosed by a lot of American troops. Captain holding up here against the Fulters, back up the machine gun, and of course the Puma. Captain will have to fall back. Looks coming up for the center here for Creativename and the German army. Of course, got the Obersoldaten out there, adding the LMG-34. Garrison's being hosed down. 5th Cavalry to receive an assault, but sadly not quite where it actually is hitting. Troops reinforcing. He could of course supervise as well, but there you go. We've got double bars up in the captain. Very good. There you go. Troops advancing up here. Anti-tank gun is within range, and there you go. Lands an excellent hit on the Lux with its 57mm anti-tank gun rounds. Troops being suppressed there, slowly murdered out. Push for the cop is being disrupted by the lieutenant. Overall, the Creativename is quickly swinging the back in action here versus VonAsten once more. Got the anti-tank and 50 copies as well. I imagine again he's going to go for another anti-tank gun soonish here versus Creativename, so he's ready for the tanks. And Creativename is starting to get very close to that Panzer IV, for example, so he's going to need that to really have a good chance here. We got Fulters the lieutenant. Brown flanking up behind here, catching no bad spot. And we got a machine gun duel here between the 50 cal and the MG-34. And the MG-34 there proved to be a problem. There you go, Captain with the double bars and the Thompson. Actually just the double bars since the Captain actually grabbed the bar, putting away his Thompson for now. All the way MG-34 the routed, opening up again the cut-off point, but not the fuel point itself because of the Schwerpanzer quarters. Now he's going for a 50 cal to help further contain Creativename's infantry. Which does mean, he's going to rely on the Lieutenant, the Reasons, and that one anti-tank to stop any armor here from Creativename, and he's certainly not far off. Yeah, we go. Panther 4 on the way. Panzer 4 Ausführung Jod. Captain got the point there. Anti-tank gun setting up. Directed here on the Puma. Second 50 cal out there for VonAsten. No sign of Rangers, but unfortunate Rangers can be quite good if well handled. Of course, he's under a lot of manpower and munitions pressure, so he may not feel, of course, that is the big priority. All Blitz continue to provide healing there for Creativename's forces, not for VonAsten. Definitely not for VonAsten. He's got an ambulance, anyways. Panzer 4 almost done there for Creativename. Big push here, but he's encountering resistance from the 5th caliber, which will slow up his advance down the west flank. Right flank is also encountering resistance there. VonAsten hits with a lot of infantry support weapons, causing a collapse of Creativename's eastern push as well. But there you go, Panther 4 molded out here for Creativename in a nice Dunkelgelb. Though technically by late 1944-45 that should have been actually painted in Dunkelgrün. But the thing is, I guess when it comes to Panzer colours, it's Panzergelb and Panzergelb or Dunkelgelb. That's sort of, shall I say, the iconic colours, but they're actually also using dark green by the late stages of the war. Right from Lieutenant versus Sturm Pioneers. Up here we got Fulton pushing straight ahead into a lot of angry Germans, by Americans. Germans, but actually some of them might have been, you know, of German origin, maybe. Cool, moving up the west side with Opel and Feuersturm. Back here, troops in reinforcing.
Krauts are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
Panther 4 moving in. Creativ's being hosted there by the Opel, gaining metrics 1 in the process. I'm guessing again VonAsten is not going to be stalling here for the Pershing, though he's still going to be some time away from it. 5th cavalry is about to get annihilated by the Panther 4 here. Very low on health, and yeah, that's going to get wiped. So right now VonAsten is once more losing ground here to Creativename from the German army here, the Kampfgruppe Schultz. Formed up of a Panzeraufklärungsabteilung and the 3rd Panzer Company, 2nd Battalion. 5th cavalry cleared out, still joining in. Enemy 3rd Horde being overwhelmed by sheer American numbers. Got the cam using on me, very good as well. Panther 4 joining in. Pushed off the fuel pump there in the west, smoke screen off as well for VonAsten. Anti-tank landing good in the Panther 4 Sturm has been focused down here, taking heavy damage in the process. Ravner routed in the end. Guess who's going to take up any soon, but even then in one attacks, it's going to, of course, still mean there's some time for him to go for the Pershing. He has like the fuel for it now. He needs the tech as well, so he can't just go for it directly. Ooh, that's bad. He lost the anti-tank crew, now he's about to lose the Stewart. And just as importantly, he's not going to be able to get the anti-tank gun back immediately. So, good push there for Creativename, leaving VonAsten in a really tight spot. We got Bazooka as it looks, doing some heavy damage. Basil being Basil. There's his captain moving ahead here, focusing that. Being shot to bits there. Anti-tank, of course, salvaged by Creativename's bold salvages. Troops reinforcing. Holding the line and slightly strong order here. Now they're anti-tanking there for VonAsten, of course, further delaying things for him. In terms of actually getting towards that Pershing, which again I imagine is really VonAsten's sort of big hope. We got 151 on 93. Creativename was yet to lose any armour here. Again, the only vehicle he's lost is the Kubelwagen. I'm sure Creativename will be, you know, reminiscing on that loss after the battle, erecting a small shrine to the little Kubelwagen. Another anti-tanking out there. Troops reinforcing healing. 5th cavalry getting ready. Push up the side. Also got the rocket battery there for Creativame, which can further make things miserable there for VonAsten's infantry and support weapons. Since the well-placed rocket barrage could of course disrupt VonAsten's situation quite magnificently. Larger infantry battle here on the left flank as Creativame is routing more and more forces, ever so slowly drip feeding them into it, even as he's putting pressure elsewhere. Blazing back up the 5th Cavalry Center here, got assault here from Creativename's infantry. For the stop, they might be able to still go for the incendiary grenade unless they get pinned down fast enough, and just a few seconds short of actually pinning them down before the Brandhammer gun actually went off. Trying to take out that Puma, the anti-tank, but none of the hits are well actually hitting. In fact, they are, strange enough, turning into misses. Up here got the Lieutenant versus the Obersoldaten. Sadly, the bazookas are less impressive as a light machine gun will, you know, do clear out the cavalry for them, which I guess is a small win. Fighting around here, Panther 4 routing VonAsten's the echelons. Got here on the Puma there. Panther 4 of course confirmed the flank. They've got Racing Salt in trouble. 5th Cavalry in trouble. 5th Cavalry joining in there. Obersoldaten suppressed. Rather than Lieutenant Cap moving up to deal with the Panzer IV, possibly back up at the anti-tank and back here, troops reinforcing healing. Still on take up, got the infantry full covering the eastern entrance. Very good play there by Creativename. Bit risky, obviously, in some ways, but as long as VonAsten doesn't rush with any tanks, it should be reasonably safe. Creativename exerting good map control here versus VonAsten, which is starting to keep up here. And there you go, anti-tank getting shot at and swarmed here by Creativename's Panzer IV. Gaining veterans on the process, troops reinforcing. He's going to lightly lose another anti-tank in here. And so at this point, he's just suffering a massive manpower bleed. It's certainly starting to look like, again, that seconds to a light tank kind of was a weak choice there by VonAsten. Again, I'm not entirely sure why he went for it, but I feel like he should have just checked faster for, you know, anti-tank guns and maybe something else here. Versus Creativename, rather than committing to a seconds to a light tank, Lieutenant got the fuel point on their back. He's got plenty of fuel now, he just needs the manpower, and that's kind of the thing there. Again, he's just sort of stuck in a manpower, bleed, spiral. But that makes it much harder for VonAsten to then go for the Pershing. And again, it's quite clear he's just banking everything on the Pershing. But again, he's struggling to get in the first damn place. Trying to catch the Puma there. Instead, catching a lot of Germans with a lot of machine guns, and more importantly, catching their bullets. There we go. Finally take off for VonAsten, of course. There still remains the issue. Even if he has the fuel now, more or less, he still also needs to then save up the manpower. And that's kind of the other part here. Meanwhile, Creativename is just pulling for the Panther. He's just already in a strong, solid lead here. He's certainly building upon it versus VonAsten, despite VonAsten's best efforts. 5th Cavalry backed up by infantry pushing westwards there. Or infantry backed up by the 5th Cavalry pushing westwards, probably a more accurate way of describing it. Troops reinforcing, healing, and again, further delaying that Pershing. Quick on me there by VonAsten, thumbs up. So I'm seeing a lot more use of on me by captains as of late. Used to be like they never used it a lot of the time. Or at least they didn't use it for a period after it got nerfed, but keep remembering, it's actually still kind of good. Just not nearly as good as it used to be, but it's still good. It's still good. Major out, great. We just, if he does not spend any manpower, roughly 2.5 minutes away from a Pershing. If he does, obviously it's going to be much longer than that. Meanwhile, Creativename's Panther is out. His Panzerkampfwagen 5 bazooka rockets failing to penetrate the Panther 4's 18mm of armor, pushing it down to half health. All of a sudden, some more penetrating hits. Very good there for VonAsten. That's good for Creativename's Panzer 4, and more importantly, its crew. Grenades going off, units being murdered. Sturm Hunters are getting veteran for the process. Ground the 5th Cavalry again. VonAsten is fighting a desperate fight for survival here against the Germans. The 5th Infantry is beset on all sides by Krauts. And they're pretty much just waiting for the cavalry to arrive and, you know, turn the tide against the Nazis. Adding a pin machine gun there to the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Very good pick there. M26 Pershing is very close to VonAsten. Troops healing, reinforcing. Weapons being grabbed there by VonAsten forces as well. More bazookas. Troops healing, reinforcing. Basil meowing. Sorry about that if he's a bit awfully close to the microphone there. I think he wants to get up on my lap. Just gotta help him get there so he doesn't block the microphone. My apologies, my dear viewers. Whoops! He's stepping on the keyboard. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. The only sounds you should be making are content purrs. We've got the Panther hanging back here. VonAsten is so close to the Pershing there, so close to the M26 Pershing heavy tank. But again, the macro question is, will it be enough here? Looks fine, the went down. Too many bazooka rockets. With a lot of bazookas there, he can do some serious damage to the armor. But now Pershing is out to save the day, or will it? I mean, Creativename still, of course, has a lot of guns. Pershing moving westwards, go straight for the infantry, the more squishing. There go, getting flanked by the Panther already, not good there for VonAsten. Major about to get annihilated, that of course cost him his bazookas, leaving him more vulnerable towards the enemy armour. Panther going here for the Pershing. He's going to need to reinforce the bazooka team, he's going to back on the front line as possible. Panther shoots, misses. Panther, in fact, has a second hit there from the Pershing. Artillery called in here, rocket artillery on the 5th cavalry, there you go. Bazooka team's being brushed out to ward off the Panther, then preserve the Pershing. Rockets decimating the outskirts of the cemetery there. Pershing pulling ahead here to put for Creativename's armor. There you go. The super team's getting hit there. Puma joining in. Panzer 4 down to half health. Panther down to less than half health. Got 75 points left for VonAsten. He's holding on, but it's a very much desperate pursuit for victory by VonAsten by now. Fifth cavalry crew there being slowly murdered out. Pershing shoots, misses. Infantry slowly got in. There you go, direct hit from the Panther again. Direct hit back here, troops reinforcing there for VonAsten. For freedom. 5th infantry is bruised and battered. Panther charging here straight at the Pershing, both landing on penetrating hit on the other one. Pershing tries to hit there, misses. Oh, it was in using the HVAP armor piercing round. Oh, trying to sneak up, then instead takes a decimating volley. VonAsten is starting to apply some serious being there's Creativename, but the problem is he is incredibly short on victory points. He's down to 27 versus Creativename's 395. Smoke screen down there, almost got the full screen. He's actually landing some serious wipes there, but it's such a desperate situation right now for VonAsten. Such a desperate situation. Troops seemingly enforcing. Lieutenant being rushed by the Volksman, backed up by the Puma. 11 versus 395. Pershing moving out, heavily damaged. VonAsten has to commit it. No ifs, no buts. Got mechanized regiment upgrade there. Stone pass fixing up the Panther. Go. Sense an opportunity. Sends out the Panther. Already damaged there to flank the Pershing. Pershing going for the Puma. Gets it. But now it's also very, very low in health. And again, that's going to be a chance for the Panther to take it out. And the Pershing combusts. And with this, VonAsten's hopes are dashed. Whoops. Now Baston's on the move again already. Perhaps not impressed there by VonAsten's handling of the Pershing. So there you go, GG, game over. A bit of a shorter fight here, but certainly highlights the brutality of Crossroads and how swinging can be in some ways. But in the end, though, I feel like VonAsten part just, well, he had a slightly good initial start. I feel like the stewards didn't quite pan out the Creative team, plus Creative strategy, I think, really countered what VonAsten did, and VonAsten, I feel like, struggled just, come up with a counter strategy to that, which made him sort of struggle. So in the back foot line, Creative to build up a force, and that way slowly throttle VonAsten. And I think he should just push fast for the company command post, not gone for the second steward and rolled up several anti-tank guns. I think 2 anti-tank guns would have given VonAsten a much better chance here versus Creativename, but he only stuck with 1. And I feel like that was perhaps a minor mistake there by VonAsten versus Creativename, and certainly gave Creativename's light vehicles a much better chance of doing what they want. I mean, remember, American anti-tank guns have a higher rate of fire than others. I mean, they can quickly destroy something, got a pair of them. So I feel like in this regard, double anti-tank guns would have been so much better pick there for VonAsten. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. Hope it gives you an issue on matches. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family. But don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. And, if you like what I do, you can also donate or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial Links and cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.